There we go.
There. Good afternoon and welcome to Freshspace. If you find yourself anywhere in the world, that's technically some in South Africa, Cape Town. And we just want to say that it's warm enough to find a job, unless you're too lazy and you just want to stand around in the corner. And I mean, there's lots of people that just stand around in the corner. So we're going to be politically correct and we're going to say, like Tyrone said earlier off air, let's just be honest, which means you're going to make a politically incorrect statement. So
Yeah,
poor
no,
people, homeless
I
people are
should have
lazy.
said, let me be frank. But I didn't want somebody to tell a boring joke after that. No, but you're tired. No, yeah,
Right
I was
now, we're
saying I
going
was
to have,
chatting to my neighbors. My neighbors are, I've got in my street that I live in, I've got Bangladeshis, I've got Somalians, I've got Nigeria. Do we have no, the Nigerians don't live anymore, and Pakistanis. Bangladesh,
Even the
yeah.
Nigerians left Mitchell's plan.
they Table View,
We're
Town, Sea
moving up.
Point,
We're moving
they're
up.
winning. So and they were the Bangladeshi guy was making a comment saying that South African poor people are lazy. There's enough opportunities here for them to be making money, but they are entitled. So he was saying where he's from. Um, no offense to the Bangladeshi government, come at me. Put it in the comments though. Um,
Yeah.
they were saying that where they are the dirt poor. They're the people spit on and walk past and don't even acknowledge. Whereas here he's a shop owner. Do you know what I mean? And he was saying you
Yeah.
pointed to a guy begging for money. You're saying when I got here, I had the same, just as much as that guy had, if not less. And now I'm a shop owner, and he's still poor. So yeah, but the rest of the world sees the whole of Africa either like the one or the other. Either no, they all figured it out, or they're all just poor people. Because that's where I guess where the conversation started.
Yeah.
But your opinion, Lenny, is that South Africans in general.
Even those who have a job, they're even more lazy.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's more that people don't understand the economic situation when you are South African. That's number one. Secondly, we think we know a lot more than we do.
I would agree. Yeah.
And it's that little tiny bit of arrogance that actually causes us to hurt ourselves more than help ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. I was you guys are gonna laugh at me now. Anyway, I was reading a Tony Robbins book, and but it's about money because I realize what you're talking about now is when I hear guys speak about money in a 10-minute conversation, I maybe catch 2 minutes of it because the rest of it is words I don't know, concepts I don't know, ideas I don't know. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna read this book and this book's gonna help. I start reading the book and I know nothing that's in the book either. And then I start doing some research, and then it turns out I didn't know just anything about economics, basically, man. Like money, the basic understanding of money. At least I knew like where it started, where like the gold thing, how it's backed, and how the fact that it's not really backed now. But just economics, man, how the economic system works. I found a quiet video that kind of explains it, and even then, it's just a basic thing, man. And in that, I realized how extremely little I know about money. How am I still expected to make money, number one? How am I still expected to um, make enough money to have a family and a house and that? Other than obviously, you get trained from school, get a job. That's how you're going to survive. But as an entrepreneur, I mean, I didn't do economics in school. I didn't even know I had to. How, what's still about guys that didn't do it in school? They don't know. Because I spoke to a dude who's supposed to have studied economics and he still doesn't understand some of the things I tried to explain to him, man. So do you think it's an
Mm.
information issue? Or do you just think like everybody's just like clueless about it?
Are you asking me?
I'm
Asking
asking
you?
both of you, do you think why South Africans know so little about it? Is it a lack of information or a lack of interest?
I almost want to feel like it reverts back to our previous point is that yes, there's the aspect of work lazy that relates directly into payment for labor. And then there's the, I was going to say, the intellectually lazy people that just don't want to understand finance. And they perceive it on the basis of, I work for money, I receive money, I buy things. That people that I'm buying from, they are working, they receive the money. And that's the circle of life when it comes to money. But the aspects and the dynamics that you're speaking of, Tyrone, is sometimes, like you were saying, someone studies economics and they studied it with the concept maybe that they're going to make money in getting a job like that, then yeah, by all means. But if they're like lonely and they volunteer to do administrative duties within financial groups, then they expand their knowledge exponentially with an active, like you're reading the Tony Robbins book. So what? Might benefit you, might not, but you're not lazy about educating yourself in that. And I keep saying Binance, Binance because I was reading about it. So these things end up part of your vocabulary, part of your thought process. But if you're not thinking about it, you're lazy in that aspect, then you know it's just gonna. And coming back again to the aspect of the civilization of the South African community being lazy. Education is one of those things, man. If they made it free for the students when they were writing, the fees must fall. The fees must fall. How many students would actually want to go to university because it's free?
A lot will
I
go,
know
but
a
I
lot
don't
of
think a
people
lot
that
will
will,
appreciate it. Yeah.
or make it. Most will just go to be there for the first year and literally just F it up, man. Because I was going to say, most people's experience of their first year at university is an aspect of the social academic freedom of movement. Whereas you come from this, let's just say you were in a public school or private school and you come from a regime where education is kind of funneled into you with the expectation of passing with, so you can be lazy and fail, you can be active and pass. But when you go into your tertiary education and you start selecting what you want to study, and is there passion, is there drive, and a desire to know more, to eradicate the laziness, then people, take off in a different career path with trajectory. Like our first South African Binance manager here.
Angel.
Archangel. Sorry,
Look, angels are voluntary, so there's no
Archangels
compensation.
as well.
The only thing that I think the angel group is good for is you get like a what you get thrown in the deep end with a lot of things coming at you, and you can make it good or bad. I mean, if I look at the angels, I mean, Brenton was an angel. We both joined the angel thing at the same time, and he's the business development guy for South Africa now. He didn't replace the previous woman because the previous woman was the manager of Binance South Africa.
Okay.
But she left because she wasn't happy. And I mean, I think she was also an older person and she had a life, man. Brenton's younger and he had to. I mean, I think he's still doing it. No, Binance doesn't. Yes. But I mean, but he's partners in Alpha Group and those things where they're doing development in that stuff, which they were doing before Binance. So he can't have a public face attached to that, I think.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I mean, look at that. The one lady says she's unhappy. He sees an opportunity. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's missing in our culture.
But the thing is that if there is work opportunities, that then gives any angel who shines, they kind of
First
will have
option.
that first option. But I mean, one of the guys that joined recently, he's just bowing out because he gave up his job, and I'm like, but it's a voluntary thing. Why would you give up your job? But I think that they were also retrenching at the same time because he was in the fitness world.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the only South African still plowing away there because like across the platforms, you don't see any of them jumping. The one guy had COVID and we haven't heard from him since.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not responding.
Is he still alive?
He's not responding.
But anyway, I was gonna revert to or try and answer from my perspective. There's two things. I can't remember the one thing I was gonna say now, but every Friday I must have an hour session with this American, or it's a mix of us from different countries. But the conversation is predominantly our viewpoint on money, and this guy's writing a book, Conversations with Money, similar
Is
to the concept of
this?
Conversations with God.
Oh, okay. Is
Mm.
this Safi? Is this not the Safi Dean guy?
No,
What's his?
no, no, that's a Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Those ones is worth signing up for any course to just sit and listen to him rant. Sometimes it's silly.
Is it?
But it's become more structured now because he gets guests and then that's a podcast.
Okay,
But I mean, we can ask questions afterwards if we want,
that's awesome.
or during. But so I mean, he's got at least a profile that he can get higher level guests. Because Michael Saylor, the guy from MicroStrategy, was on there, and
Sure.
those type of people.
He's the
I
new
must
rock star. Yeah.
But so I would say firstly that I think our childhood approach to money is what sort of sets the trajectory for the rest of our life on how we deal with money. So how you
Mm.
grow up and what you reason money to be. If you were a child and your parents struggled with money and you had to ask for it and it was a hard thing, it's kind of gonna set the tone for how you relate to money.
Mm.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know of a colored house where any child is comfortable asking for money and saying, without
Back
like,
then, yes.
really questioning, do I really need this?
Mm.
Because you know the answer before you walk
Uh,
in.
You have to walk in with a proposal, a strategy.
I'm gonna tender now for this.
And then
Yeah.
it's also
put
like
in so many
in my
shops.
family, it was polar opposites. One was tight with money, one was loose with money, one was and they differed in their approach because although it was loose with money, it was loose in the sense of like my father, if he liked Mnet, he'd find a way to get Mnet. That
Okay.
doesn't mean he would find a way to get something for you if you needed something that he felt he didn't need. You don't need. And my mother was the type of person who like you get birthday presents and people give you money and then you think, oh, I have so much, and then you actually just don't because you bought socks or whatever. I bought you socks or whatever, and it's just like without my permission. So it means for a long while you sort of grow up not having control over that, thinking it isn't mine to control.
Wow.
And you have to work through those things. And that's why I'll say that beyond just money, South Africans are generally lazy about themselves. It's like, and maybe it's different, and we can maybe talk better in the colored community that we tend to feel that we can't be in charge of our own lives
Yeah.
because we're not meant to. But that is how we grew up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you start to take charge of your life, there's a positive and a moorse negative. The biggest negative being, so you mean I'm responsible now for
I was just gonna
everything?
say that. Now.
This is not right.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a boss that I can hate.
Yeah.
I'd rather have people that I can complain about. And I know, Craig, wherever you are, I was giving it to him on Thursday,
Eish.
but I just lost it when it's just like, I'm like, everybody's at fault. It's the ops manager, it's your previous manager, it's your wife, and yet you're the one sitting unhappy, man.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like I was, I was just listening to a guy who was here earlier, and he's just like, I hate to use this word about people, but he's just a low life man. Like, you must know if I'm saying somebody's a low life, you must know they are a low life. Like, maybe I think
It's like I
he's
say, when you think you hit the bottom, you forget they can dig.
like definitely one of those guys, and I think his issue is that he's too smart for himself, I guess. He talks himself into deeper holes or whatever. But anyway, that's another story. And as he was leaving, I was just realizing that he's struggling with, like you say, taking responsibility for his own life, man. Because up until a certain point, he was, and I think we all deal with it. And I'm just probably repeating what you're saying, but you get taught, man, don't think for yourself. You don't do that because I said so. You know what I mean? Well, in our household, it was like that. There's no negotiation or conversation. It's just like, these are the rules. You abide by the rules or you go live somewhere else, right? And yes, sometimes you keep it quiet and you go live somewhere else, but then you just get there and you're at your friend's house. It's the same. Now you have to abide by their rules. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then, like you say, now you get like, it's okay. Now you must think for yourself. You got to make your own decisions. You've got to decide. Like, you know, so we're talking about money in this case. You got to know what to do with money. But up until that point, you didn't have your own money. You were asking for money the whole time. So I can, you know, I 100,000% agree with you. I just want to know, is it because we weren't? Do you think we should be allowed to deal with these things earlier while the parents are there to guide? Or do you think parents should get out of the way earlier? Because that essentially then becomes the question. Obviously, if you have
Honestly,
parents in the
I
first place.
don't know. I don't know that one, but I will bring up Kanye West quote,
Mhm.
which he made a valid point. He said, "At this point in my life, yes, he's worth a few billion, but on average, every year he makes $300 million." And he said, "Nobody teaches you how to handle that empire.
Mm.
You don't get a class, okay? Because at high school, who knows what you're gonna be? So
And you're not really listening either.
nobody and like I told you the other day, you need to prepare for success. You can't make decisions when that money comes. It needs to be made before the money comes.
Mm.
And therefore some of them survive, some of them don't. And like a case in point, Tony Braxton didn't fare so well. And the thing is, most people that make that kind of money are autistic type of people, so creatives and whatever. They don't know how to deal with the monetary side. I mean, you're like, oh, there's a million, yay! But you're also living a life faster than you can think sometimes because, I mean, who wants to go live in a motel? But maybe that is what you need to do in the beginning.
Yeah.
To you know, if you're managing your funds effectively. Everybody tells people when you get married, buy as soon as you can because you're paying other people's rent. That is the single-handed worst advice you can give any young couple.
Amen. Oh, sorry, we're not in church.
But how can I say, we just don't think about money because we sort of revert to that track of what we used to.
Mm.
So you're either going to not care about it or you're going to care too much about it and never spend it or never do anything with it.
Yeah.
But you certainly can't be inactive about it
Yeah.
because nobody that has money was inactive about it.
You took a risk, yeah. Not even sometimes not even risk. They just, I think you always say it. Same method, same result. No? Something like that you always say. If you do the same things, you're gonna get the same results.
And also my main statement in life is if you find yourself having followed your instincts and you don't like where you are, stop following your instincts.
Yeah, that is valid. And it's amazing, eh? Like, I just if I can maybe share something personal, not personal, but of my own experience. Like, it gets so bad when that before you're gonna do something new or different, that like in my case, like my body shakes almost, man, because you're like, this just goes against everything that I know to be what I was taught, man. And 9 out of 10 times when you jump past that, there's actually like like a real success point after that, man. And I think you just need to find a balance between being greedy and being willing to do anything for money, and just being willing to try something different, man.
Yeah, but look, let me reframe that a bit better because
Yeah, we don't mean you've never stolen before. Now go steal. We're not saying that.
no, look, if that is what I mean, Kanye West said he worked for the Gap and he stole stuff at the Gap. He
Oh
owns
yeah,
the
that's
Gap
what
now.
It was funny. But I liked how he was trying to put like a God element to it. It's come full circle. Look at God. I'm like, don't use God, brother. You stole that thing, man.
No, but the thing is, if you need to steal something, m- may you fall on a relational side of things where somebody understands where you are. But my thing is more, one must never work for money. That is your biggest mistake in life. Because then you become opportunistic. And then anything works. The problem that I think people have is that they don't understand that if I want to be successful, I must decide to be.
Mm. You must have a plan also, yeah.
But if you want to be successful in that, then you need a plan in that.
Mm.
And we've had this discussion before, is that then that determined decision needs to determine what you say no to and what
Yeah.
you say yes to. But the problem is that if and here's where you're gonna hurt me, is that if your life ticked on, because life has a certain track and your decisions has a certain track, and the phases of life don't always sort of meet up
Sync.
when. So if you've decided for whatever reason that, let's say, marriage is your determined decision for success, what happens when you get married? Now you don't know what to do.
If
Yeah.
succeed,
If you then determine, okay, living in a place, having a child is your definition of success, what happens when you get there?
Mm.
Um, so the problem is that you are not creating a path in your life that is I look up to that path, but I know it's not achievable in life.
Yeah.
Because the day you make that achievable, you live a mediocre life. Because even Kanye West, I mean, let's be honest, he doesn't need to work again a day in his life. He doesn't need
Yeah.
to do anything. But he's created things that seem impossible for us.
Yeah.
It's probably impossible for him to achieve in one lifetime too. But it doesn't
Mm.
mean he doesn't try.
Well said, yeah.
And if you are doing things that are entirely achievable and you felt that you achieved it, I think you're in a dangerous place.
Yeah. I agree. And it's tough, young. Like, my problem is that, like Daryl saying, like I've committed to now knowing more. That the problem with knowing more is now it's more responsibility, man. Because you're like the seventh person I've heard say that exact same line this week. It's like if you're not dreaming big enough dreams or having big enough goals, mediocrity is what you're destined for, man. And you things that you know is attainable, you don't grow from those things. You grow from trying to reach, trying to stretch. Even just humanly, if you're stretching every day, you grow. That is like a scientific fact. So no, it's valid what you're saying. I mean, obviously it comes out in different ways in everybody, but the truth is life is short, but with a plan, it actually seems long enough, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Like you got
yeah.
this thing of life is short. I'm just rather gonna do this. But you wake up one day and you go, I still got another 40 years left on average, if I don't have a freak accident. And then, like
It's
in
a
my case,
long
it
time.
was,
It's a very long time.
it's like, what am I going to do for 40 years? And then, like I said, it was encouraging because like, it's long enough to work at something or a few things. At the same time, if I don't start now, in 10 years' time, I'll be like, oh shit, I only got 30 years left, man. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's important to dream
Look,
big dreams without being pie in the sky, obviously. Unless pie in the sky is your goal, then go for it, bro.
American pie in the sky. But to be honest, to be frank, sorry, to be frank,
But you're down.
they there's like you were saying when you get maybe to marriage and you call that success. I always want to say there's different categories to life, and marriage is maybe one of the culminations of a relationship with it, because it's just guys, yeah, and if there are ladies watching, wherever, and they watch it again, vice versa. It's your relationship with another person, and how can I say, in the sociology of life, marriage is this success of a relationship. Let's just put it that way. Maybe there's other aspects as well, but you know what I mean in that
I'm not
dynamics.
married, but I'm not going to agree with you on that one.
Look, if
Okay,
you
I want to hear you finish your
if you and
point
Lisa,
first. I want to hear you finish your point first.
look,
So,
I'm just saying there's different categories in life, and let's use Kanye West as an example. He got married. People, I don't know what is happening now after the whole
no,
debacle.
you're still married, still in love.
Still married, still in love. And I mean, we made
What the
mention
fuck?
to the first um what's it his first meet as a political candidate when you were saying that he killed his daughter, or he nearly killed, or he wanted to abort the first child, and then Kim stopped him, and he said that was not publicly, and obviously it was a huge thing because the child hadn't known that my daddy wanted to abort me anyways. So if you're talking about success and goals, I feel like marriage and staying in a relationship with someone, there's different aspects to your emotional and maybe psychological development that you can say is success, and marriage is one of those things. I don't think that there's just a financial benefit or deficiency that takes place when you get married.
No,
But
it's more like sorry, you're not
it's
done.
a yeah, I was just gonna say it's like maybe in the steps of development as for us as guys, maybe as a man to become a husband, to become a father, there could be success steps of success or success points that you have put down. One of the things that I remember in a conversation with you, Lynn, to just allude to it was being a man of your word and reverting that to God being a God of His word, Father of His word, and replicating that, having that as a point of success. Now, coming back to finance, finance is a different thing. And what you were mentioning earlier, Tyrone, is maybe the culture and the relationship that we have with our children now and the next generation, and how we introduce money to them is going to be a lot different. I feel like I had a conversation with someone with an older guy last night, one of my friend's fathers, and I was telling him that I could be honest with him. I say it was different for you guys now because they have started using Zoom, and I'm saying when the industrial revolution took place, because this friend's father of mine, he works in rigging, so he's been a truck driver all his life, and he'd leave for like 2 or 3 weeks and then come back. And we were talking about how all the other men he knew had lost lappies all the way, man. Every town where they know they're gonna be rigging, they be
Mm.
rigging, they be So you were saying it was hard when he got married because he's married almost 50 years now. That at the beginning he had to put that down as that's for him. That success is to stay on this course, etc., etc. And the development of that alluded to his entire family and so forth. But I'm saying back then, the industrial revolution and technological revolution, where we can work from home, have these kind of meetings of substance, they never had. So what they are facing then and what we are facing now still comes to the same point. Like, are you faithful to your wife? Do you see that as a point of success? And do you want to add to that? Is there transparency? Is there growth? That's completely different from the finance. That's just to
Yeah, I think
bring concrete
for
into what I'm saying. I don't want
for
you
me,
to get me wrong, Dylan. I'm not battling you on that. Sorry, Taran, go.
What are you
nah,
battling with?
he's not. He's saying he's not battling you on anything.
I didn't hear what he said, man.
No, I think for
a
me
new
it's
a
more.
new
It's
challenger
more,
has not arrived.
and especially I think for the unmarried people, I'd say this, man. And maybe you guys can yeah name me on this one. I think it's important to, before you decide to make important decisions like who you're gonna spend your life with, that you know what it is you want to do with your life, man. And if marriage is gonna mess with that, then rather don't get married, man. It's even, I know you guys are both okay, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna
But
say,
what?
even in the
But here's my
Bible,
question:
even in
What
the
would you?
Bible, a guy like Paul will say, if you rather don't get married, man. If getting married is gonna keep you away from the purposes of God, right? And he's, because Paul believed that everybody was created for that, what's it, ministry of reconciliation, so to say, right? So he was saying, if
Yeah.
you can't, if getting married is going to keep you away from what you were born to do, then don't get married. But however,
Uh,
if you're now burning with desire, then get married, but also don't let it keep you away from what you want to do, man. So obviously, in our case, we're only figuring our lives out afterwards because we
Why
were
is Daniel
taught.
interjecting there?
I don't know why,
I'm
but I'm just trying to make my point.
sorry, continue.
I'm not saying
Sorry,
that's what
continue.
you said. I'm trying to say when it
What
comes
he
to
said.
like things like this, it's important to know what the purpose or what whether you believe God decided it, whether you believe you decided it. Everybody's got has to live with purpose, man. Otherwise, like I guess Jason Upton said, you're gonna become an opportunist. So marriage mustn't hold you back from what you're doing, man. Because even in a marriage, once you get married, together you guys have to have some kind of goal, right? Together you guys have to have some kind of
Yeah.
thing of, okay, what are we gonna do now? We can't just stay here in this house and kiss and hold hands all day. The marriage itself also has to grow, so it can't be a goal, is what I'm trying to say, man. Marriage can't be a point of success if there's still a lot of work to be done once marriage happens, man.
Same thing
So
with finance.
compartmentalizing your life like that can be very dangerous. I think. That's what I'm saying. This is just my opinion. If you're going, okay, marriage is this, finance is this, spirituality is that, then your life will become very difficult because you won't see it as one big stream. Man. So now marriage can maybe interfere with finance, and finance can now interfere with spirituality. You know what I mean? Whereas you have one life and it's all in there, man. And if you don't account for all of it at the same time, you find yourself spending more time on one than the other. And that's what I was trying to say. Especially for the unmarried person, it's good to know, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Does this person help with that or not, man? I wish I had done that before I got married. I was still married the same woman, but our conversations would have been very different. And it's not because she's sitting here behind me.
That's what you do.
No,
Realizing,
my point is
that's a
we
man
maybe would have
limiting.
no, my point is we maybe would have gotten married earlier or even later. Do you understand? Based on, okay, Charlene, what are you gonna live for? Tyron, what are you gonna live for? But unfortunately we learned it when we did. But that doesn't stop us from now going, okay, cool, now that we know what we know. What's the plan here? What's gonna happen for the next 40 years? What's gonna happen for the next 5 years? We can't also just live like we used to. Do you know what I mean? So that's why, in my opinion, I don't think marriage is any goal. It's no different to going to the bicycle. It's just something that you do, that you decided to do, man. But there's no achievement, man. Because if somebody never gets married, that doesn't mean they didn't achieve some kind of love and affection goal, man. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because there's people that thrive emotionally without having a partner. This is what I'm. Because you, with your first point was that marriage is a goal, man, or
Yeah.
some point
So
of
the reason,
success.
yeah, the reason I brought it in, like, it's like, I mean, it's the foundation of that statement is to allude to the I think it's the words of Solomon in Proverbs where he's saying, help me to number, or teach us to number the days so that so that we can live with a wise heart, or heart of wisdom, something like that.
You're recording this now,
And
Winnie?
we were saying, you're gonna be like that, I'll read the Bible.
No.
But
What you're saying is
we
good
were
advice.
saying earlier about the length of time that you have on Earth, and I was always envious at the beginning, when you read the life of the sorry, the amount of years and the life expansion of the genealogy in the Bible. Because people live for like 800 years, and you think like, what the hell were you doing for 800 years, and so forth. But when you look at the life of Solomon and the success that they uh, um, express, and if you just think about, I mean, excuse the pun, but the concubines, Tyrone, if you just like think about that
Where it's at,
for a
bro.
second, and if you compare the life of Solomon and the amount of wives he had to you and your wife, I mean, it's chalk and cheese. And if you want to say that that is success, then yes, but maybe there's more to what Solomon was doing in that relationship he was having, and also in the wisdom that he was acting with in the time that they had on earth. And I wanted to say this though, the thing about marriage and the thing about commitment to any particular person, and the same in the commitment that I have to the two of you and the show, is that it takes time out of your life. And that's probably what Paul is alluding to. Is like, if you want to invest some of your time in someone else, consider this. If you have a goal and objective that you want to achieve, and your time is going to be constrained, and it's like with Linley and Lisa, for example, And then he's got,
Time,
like you were saying,
eight time
I mean, he's got,
praty boy.
no, I'm just saying he's got a vision, a direction that is already on a trajectory. And it's almost like she's just jumping on the bus. So alluding to your point that you were saying, if you want to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life and you meet this person, is it the right person that you're meeting, or is this person going to take away from your time and your direction? If it's a person that's on the bus with you, for example, you're saying Charlene's on the bus there with bus with you,
She
and
don't
you would
have
have
a
got
choice
married,
now.
and you would have got married earlier, and maybe been traveling the world like that husband and wife, that coffee brown, fresh coffee. Not wanting the name, don't know.
No, I would have left music long ago if I knew that. If I knew
Or like,
what life
or
was
like
going to be
Lynn,
about.
or like if Lonely says like with Jason Upton, they just chose that that's what they're gonna do to it. It doesn't take away from the relationship that they were growing with, in love and in affection to another person. But it does take away from the time that they get to spend if he's busy touring and doing those things. So there's a delicate balance, and that's what I'm alluding to with marriage being success, but marriage to the right person and growing that. Like this older guy was telling me last night, they married for 50 odd years, but they had less to do back then than what they do now, in the sense of
So,
distractions and connectivity.
please excuse me, guys, man. I need to go. My monster is working right through me. Sorry.
The
I'll be
monster's
back now.
coming out of your
TMI,
lizard.
TMI. So, so yeah, for me, Lynn, I think it comes down to a time issue.
Time issue?
If we're talking about success and we're talking about time on earth, how do you use your time? I mean, children probably add to that, and the amount of children
I'm still
balancing
going
your
to be
time.
on the case of the pre-decision. As that And maybe it's because I've never been a person like that, so I don't understand what life is like to be led by something happening. So there's what I determine to do, and then I go do it. Um, if I meet an obstacle, I deal with the obstacle, and I still do what I want to do.
Mm.
And maybe it's to do with how I grew up. So I learned very easily in life that everything can be done by negotiation. So if my father said no, I'll negotiate with my mother, or I'll find a weak point that she has because the two of them won't speak on the same terms. So I learned to fight for my case to win. And if necessary, I just jumped out the window and went anyway. There were no burglar bars in those days. And deal with the ramifications afterwards. So
Yeah, you
I, s-
weigh the
I sup-
consequences.
I suppose it's a matter of my life is a story in it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. But
Mm.
I still think that I'll wait for Tyrone to say that comment. But
Say what was I
Boom.
saying?
so there's an old saying, and it is more applied to Christianity as a whole. So if you view Christianity as one big ship, so the saying goes that if the place for a ship is the ocean, there's no other place where it can do what it's meant to do. But woe to the ship where the ocean gets on the ship.
Hmm.
And you can read into that whatever you want to, but a lot of it depicts to if the ocean is the world and you're the Christian in the world, woe to you if the world gets in you.
Hmm.
And if you're a person that is led by circumstantial things, you're gonna have trouble in life. So you can have a direction, you can set your course, but if water gets on you, you're not getting there.
Hmm.
Or you're gonna spend time and distracted by trying to get the water off all the time. So if you are a person that can plan something ahead of time and determined to do that, you're going to get to your direction. And there's another story also. It's about World War II, I think, where the Germans and the Americans were fighting via warships. But they had a problem in that the American warships kept knocking into each other. But it sounds dumb, but what would happen is that over the certain part of the sea where the Americans never normally went, there used to be, it was prone to heavy fog. And as soon as they hit the fog, they would re-navigate to try and get out of the fog. Then knocking into each other. But the Germans would just glide through because they had the experience to know that when there's heavy fog, stay your course, man. Because you set out to go somewhere, you will get there if you keep your course.
But they still didn't take over the world.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the point
I know
is
what you're
that
saying,
they
yeah.
won on the water. Yes, you didn't win the war, but you won the battles. But my thing is to pull a life lesson from that is when it's unclear to see, don't change your course. Keep going where you intended to go. If you can't see, still go. Don't stop. Don't change. Don't turn.
Yeah.
And
This
the thing
sounds
is like
the Bird
What?
Box. It sounds
I
like
don't know.
Bird
I
Box.
didn't watch Bird Box. Don't talk about it.
don't ruin it for me either. I don't know what Bird Box is. It's the movie. Series.
A movie, Sandra Bullock. Looked like a quiet movie, but Netflix put it away. It was there and now it's gone. I don't know how to get it back, Netflix. I'll probably just search it.
But
Let's put
The
it into
word, there's
context of what you're saying. That in a world where you can't see, you have to plot where you're going
no, but
blindly. But
let,
stick the course.
I don't like giving pie in the sky sort of statements. I like to maybe give an example. So, like, for me, marriage is a peripheral thing because you can't say marriage is the success of a relationship. Going to the end of your relationship where one of you died, that's the success of the relationship. You're still together. Marriage is an incidental thing where you decide to commit to only one person. That
And you
means
only
nothing
realize
until
who
you
they are.
actually do.
And then you only realize who they are when you are married. And you're like, wow, who's this?
No, because I mean, it's like to women, their culmination is the wedding.
Yeah.
But the marriage is the entirety of the thing which you commit to on that day and decide, well, all the decisions from now are bring to the present and say, this is what I will decide when that and that and that and that and that. It's still casting a vision of success saying, at the end of my life, this person is going to be there still, however long that life is. But that's got nothing to do with the purpose in life, is that woman can either be with you on the boat or the water on the boat.
Yeah. That's true.
Let's hope she's a shipmate.
Yeah. This
And this
And-
goes to
and-
people that are married, or just because people are married doesn't mean they married the right person. It doesn't mean that there is a right person. You may not have been the right person when you got married. Because
never too
I
late,
promise you, if you don't have a purpose in your life, the water will decide for you where you go.
yeah.
And then you're not going to end up where you want to be.
Robin Sharma, the guy who wrote the 5 a.m. Club. Like he's got this word like monomaniacal. Like, he keeps saying that like it's like great people are monomaniacal. They're just like they're looking at one thing, man, and they're doing one thing, and whoever else is with that thing is in. Whoever else is not with that thing is out or at a distance. You know what I mean? And he was talking about his wife, how at the beginning his wife also didn't see it, man. She was like, he's a visionary. He's always thinking of being legendary. Like, and his wife's more like, yes, but supper tonight. And he's going, we can miss supper tonight, you know? Just we can eat supper tomorrow. Like, it's fine, man. But one day we're gonna have any supper we want. We can have 3 suppers if we wanted to. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, obviously, with a lot of fighting, which also a lot of married people avoid, you get to a place where either your partner understands or you both grow or whatever, man. But in the end of the day you get married, your relationship actually starts. It's like a brand new thing, man. Like, especially if you haven't lived together, you've got another human in your space that is also very difficult to deal with and blah, blah, blah. But the point is, it shouldn't, if there is a plan, man, it shouldn't deter you from your plan. Like in my case, I just wish I had a plan when I started. But at least I'm grateful to have like my wife is fairly chilled when it comes to those things. She could easily pivot with me. Do you know what I mean? Not that she's doing what I want. We both could sit and write down and go, okay, what about the next 10 years? What about the next 20 years? What can we do either on our own or together?
There's the other thing. It's finally come to my head.
Oh,
So
Hey, the first point, second point.
now the second point was, if you have ever struggled with addiction, it's either gonna help you or seriously hurt you. Because if it's one thing that addiction makes you, it's single focused.
I could just
Yeah.
listen to this guy. I said this earlier. Sorry, go for it.
The problem with a single focus is if you focus on the wrong thing, all your energy and effort will be focused on the wrong thing. If you focus on the right thing, it will make you diabolical in that sense that you will do anything to achieve that, but you can also ruin the things around you by that. Because
Monomaniacal.
it's not monomaniacal in that sense. It's detrimental because what you're not doing is that you know when a camera focuses on something, everything else blurs.
Okay, yeah. Makes
So
sense.
the only thing you see clearly is what you wanted.
So
the
it's
problem
almost
is-
borderline self-centeredness.
Well, ultimately, if we reduce addiction to its cause, then it's idolatry. So you
Okay.
are latching onto something that solves you. But how can I say? It's when you let go of the thing and realize that I can still look at where I want to go, but there's a lot of factors that get me there. So now you can literally ruin your job environment. You can literally lose your marriage environment. You can lose your financial environment. All those things if you don't keep tabs on it. Because it's not like life pauses when you focus on something. It's not like you can stop and say, okay, wait a minute, I don't have my license. Just stop them. Aged. Don't go on. Or my money's not where I want it to be. Just pause that. I'll work hard at that and then fix the money thing. Because you know full and well, all of us know this. When you focus on just the money thing, then the wife thing goes pear-shaped.
Yeah.
Or the other thing goes, and they all go like that. And like, I was having this, I don't know if it was an argument because I was just venting with Lisa. I was saying, we're in a pandemic. Has this ever happened to any of our lives? No, but you're still demanding the things of normal life.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm having to do extraordinary things to survive this pandemic. Hence, if I do extraordinary things, the time factor goes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but that is a perspective. Like, not everybody can see that way, man. Not that I'm not please dissing on women, but just like that's why I was saying earlier on. It's one thing, man. Your life can't be split up into different stuff because then that thing happens. And I'm saying now, I don't know the specific situation with Lisa, but most times women see things that way, man. They're like, but this is wrong. And you go like, yeah, but this is right. And this is growing and that's building and let's just chuck this thing away. They go, oh yeah, I see that. But this is wrong. You know what I mean? And then I guess they got guys that are also like that. But I mean, I think that's what maybe makes us different. Like you see things bigger, man, or you see things with bigger perspective as like I'm still a old school guy in that regard that men should be the leaders like of a home or of any situation. You should try and see where this is going and how everybody fits into the thing, man. But not everybody can see things that way. In that way, they are monomaniacal.
Look, the key to, I don't know
We
if
just
you
made
ever-
this thing positive and negative at the same time.
I don't know if you saw
Totally.
a juggler already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key to keeping all the balls up is to keep them moving all the time. Because the minute you focus on one and trying to make sure that that thing stays in the game, the others fall down.
Are you
So-
listening, ladies?
No,
This is not for ladies. This is for men. I'm saying is that
Anybody
for
want
the
to play
juggling-
with balls?
for the juggling to continue of life, you need to be focused on your purpose.
Yeah.
and moving towards that. Because when you're moving towards that, you gaining the momentum that stuff can jump up and down. It's when you start
Mm.
taking your eye off your purpose, and then you start looking at the balls, and then you
Look, I
just
wanted
they
to
fall.
make reference to the monomaniacal point that we were in a couple of episodes before this. We were talking about being unbalanced,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now, I mean, to some
Oh, you
degree, we
mean
talk about
it boils
being,
down to the same thing?
No, no, no. You
yeah,
see, that's the contradiction in life, is that there are contradictions. But the thing is,
That's
what you need to
a good
not
one.
do is try and put all those teachings into one phase and
Yeah.
realize that we live different phases.
And but also when you say like something can balance, but that doesn't mean it's equal, man. So you can't spend the same amount of time, let's say on family time, the same amount of time with your friends, and nothing can get the same amount of time, man. They, like you say,
Mm,
if there's a purpose, then those things are easily negotiable, man. Let's say you're in a marriage and you're going, look here, by 5 years we must be in this house, right? Now when you say, look here, I can't sit down for supper tonight, I need to finish this thing. Everybody knows that is towards this, man. So it's still balanced and
that's
it's
correct.
still
Yes.
safe. Do you understand? But because there's a purpose, certain things are negotiable or certain things are not negotiable. Now, I think where we miss it is we think balance means, oh no, I can't spend too much on time on that because I need to spend time here. But it's actually, I know the side is business, guys, and the side is family. So now I'm saying, where in actual fact, the one is going to benefit the other, man. And it's just a matter of there is no written thing of this is exactly how much time each person needs to do each thing. It's going to be different for every person, man. Because I know families where the husband only sees his family 1 day a week, and the family is fine with that. You know
Can't
what I
I
mean?
be in that one?
Yeah, I've seen I've seen it. It's actually from someone very close to me. So his family knows Sunday is family day. The rest of the week, when you see daddy, you just say hello and daddy will talk to you. The rest of the time, it's not that daddy don't love you, but daddy wants to give you the things you say you need. Do you understand?
Mm,
I was
yeah.
like, teach me. Can you please teach me? Oh, master, sensei.
Yoda.
You
Yoda.
understand? But it's the fact that his wife understands what it is that he's doing, and
Mm.
the family also sees me. Because the son, he can say, Dad, I need an Xbox. And his dad goes, okay, give me a week. Do you understand what I mean, man?
What?
So they understand the exchange. And it's not like Sunday is a bad day. Sunday is like he literally switches off. The phone goes off. Everything goes off. And it's just him and his family. Now he catches up, takes the daughter for breakfast, takes the son for lunch. The afternoon, he spends the time with the wife. Then at night, they watch a movie together. So it's not like he's not connecting with his family, man. They've just kind of figured out that we don't need to spend so much time together to love each other, man. Because the rest of the week, they're also doing their own thing for their purpose. Do you understand? So he teaches them, look here, what is it that you want to do? Instead of missing me, what can you be doing for your purpose so that maybe one day when you have a family, you can spend more time with them? So it's valuable things that I guess gets taught, but
So
like
this
I
guy
say,
doesn't go to church on a Sunday. He does that with his family.
he doesn't belong to a church.
Doesn't waste his
He's
time.
he's 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 where we are. He's where we are. He's like, God, I'm in a life with God. What do I need that for? You know what I mean? Unless
That's
they
true,
need
yeah.
me, they can call me. I'll be there if they need me. But I don't think that it's necessary for me to touch base with a pastor every week, and that's not his mentality. But he is a God believing Christian, and yeah, he says he always just goes, "What did Abram do the rest of the time?" You know what I mean? That's just his thing. Abram was rich. How did he get rich? Um, sorry, man. I
Don't
have
hate
to
the
go get my
wealthy.
daughter, so my house is getting busy. But yeah, I'm loving this convo. We're definitely gonna go put this one
Deeper.
on the Spotify. Yo, it's hard to do this when somebody's in your house.
So
Um, so yeah, that's
we're
my
gonna
two
we're
cents.
gonna end YouTube on this one. We can pick up the conversation again. Just
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
gonna sign off there. That
Sign us
Thanks.
off. If you ever find yourself feeling lazy, let us remind you you have a limited amount of time. And if you want to have a variety of concubines and make success, you're actually driven to use your time to get what you want to get done in your life. Just spend 1 week, one day a week with your family,
No, I
and
didn't say
another.
Yeah, niggas are getting
And live,
divorced after this. Man.
live an unbalanced life while you attempt to find balance and success. Don't be lazy. Tune in next week, Monday, if you find us at the same time. If not, if you get a chance to watch this, become a Binance Angel.